Good evening, and welcome to the first cigar special for BarbWire Strategy. Now, this is a show that I wanted to do long ago, way back in the beginning when I thought of all of the politics and the election in 2020 coming up, but I didn't know how to move it in or move it out of what I was doing. So, I've kind of designed a way, with a little bit of help from my wife, because she encouraged me by going down and filming some of this with us, as you'll see. We're going to do a cigar review. Now, later on in these cigar specials, we'll call them, later on what we'll do is I'll go through a more deep explanation of cigars and what they're composed of, the wrapper, the binder, the filler, and then some of the tools that we use on cigars for those that are cigar connoisseurs, as all good conservatives should be. Although I have met a few liberals, very few who like cigars. You know, I guess there's always one out of a million. Anyway, the cigars that we're going to look at tonight, this one we're just kind of pulling out of our hat, and we're going to see where it goes. So, in this, I'm going to introduce just a few of the very minimal amount of tools that you need to smoke a cigar. Now, this is a cigar box. I made this one. It's got the cigar on top. It's got a piece of pink ivory right here. And this is a box for you to keep your cigars in or your tools in. Okay? It's a little bit too small for a cigar. Now, let me go over you know what? The first thing you have to do before you do anything else is you have to be dressed for the occasion. Here, I am dressed in, well, my working attire, my office attire. But we need to get dressed in our cigar attire. So let's do that right now. And there you go. Here we are. I'm dressed in my cigar attire. Now, I know you're not used to seeing me this way, but you'll have to get used to seeing me this way when I'm at the cigar lounge, because I have, about 1,000 of these kind of shirts. Now, I have some actual Cuban shirts, but I have more Hawaiian shirts. And what I really need, and I have on order, is a cigar jacket. Now, that would be the proper attire for a gentleman to enjoy his cigar at the club or at the cigar lounge. Right now, though, what I want to talk to you about is just the essential tools. And I'm going to go over all of the tools that you need or that you could have for cigars in a later series. We'll see how this cigar show goes, this cigar special we're doing right now. But here are the basic things, aside from the attire, the correct attire. Now, let me say something about the attire real quick. Sometimes it's best to have a set of clothes that you only wear for cigar smoking, especially if you work in an office condition where you have really nice suits and clothes and ties that you don't want to embed the smells of the tobacco. Personally, I like the smells of cigars. Maybe not all of the after effects of cigars, but most of the scent of cigars, it doesn't bother me. It does bother my wife some. And I know it bothers a lot of women out there. For some reason, women have a very delicate sense of smell when it comes to cigars. I don't know why. Actually, that's a good thing. But I'm going to talk about that in another video. But what I wanted to say was that I have a buddy of mine that you're going to see here, Captain Sebastian. And Captain Sebastian has a set of clothes that he wears for cigars. And then he has another set of clothes that he wears in his professional life. So these are the clothes that I wear. I usually wear an Hawaiian shirt. And when it gets to be in the wintertime, I'll wear like a... Now let me talk to you just about the basic essentials aside from the attire. And that is, number one, you need a cigar. Now I'm using a very large cigar so that the camera picks it up quite well. Most cigars are really roughly about this size, which this is actually just a wooden handle. But this cigar is a very large cigar. This is about a 65 ring gauge. This is about 7.5 inches long. You have to have a cigar. If you don't have a cigar, you're not going to smoke cigars. So obviously that's the basic essential there. The other thing that you'll need is a nice ashtray. Now this one here I picked up back in 1945 and I've had it ever since. I've managed not to break it. I've kept it in pretty good shape, and it's by far my favorite ashtray. So there's your cigar and your cigar ashtray. The other thing that you need is a good lighter. A lighter that you can refuel easily right here in the back, and you can light your cigar with it. This one I've had since the 1930s, and it works out just fine. It's great. The other thing that you need is you need a cigar cutter. Now there's many forms of cigars and cigar cutters, and we're going to go over all of those in a later video. But you have to have some kind of means to cut your cigar. Now, I know in a lot of the old movies, they just grab the cigar by the end and bite it off and spit it out. You're going to end up destroying the cap that was meticulously put together by the cigar roller. And you're going to end up getting a lot of tobacco in your mouth. And that's not going to be very pleasant. So you want to have a sharp, good cigar cutter. And there's many different types, but we're going to go over those later on. This is just a straight cut. A guillotine, as they say. So these are the basic tools. Something to put your cigars in, the cigar itself, the right attire, a cigar ashtray or some type of container or ashtray, a good lighter, and a cutter for your cigar. Now there's some other tools, but again, we're going to go over those in another video. Right now though, what I want to do is take you straight to the cigar lounge. This lounge, which I call the Country Club, is called Paladins, and it's located in Fort Worth, Texas. A great family owns this, and we're going to talk more about them and interview them in a later video. But right now, we're just going to give you a little bit of taste of this cigar lounge, Paladins. Let's go there now.
So I have the Havana Legend. It's by Gurkha. It's a lighter Gurkha. It's got a very creamy flavor to it with the same kind of woody sort of undertones that Gurkha is famous for. But it's very tasty and one of my favorites.
What is that called again?
The Havana Legend by Gurkha.
What are you smoking?
I'm smoking this Gurkha right here.
What Gurkha is that?
It's a cigar. It's a cigar Gurkha with tobacco inside of it.
Where's your label?
I don't know, but it's the strongest cigar I've had, and it's taking advantage of my weak constitution.
What'd you do with your label?
Hey, it's a good one.
Yeah.
What Gurkha was? So what's the name of that Gurkha?
Gurkha.
What is the name of that?
That is the Gurkha Ghost.
Gurkha Ghost, that's it.
Gurkha Ghost. How would you review that?
It's a cigar with burning capabilities, and it tastes like burnt popcorn. I've had to relight it about 5 times.
That's the one he gave me. That was
Probably not the cigar's fault.
Probably why
It's probably
it's
just I'm bad at smoking
Gurkha
cigars.
Ghost.
I am smoking the PDR Oscura. I'm trying this out for the first time because one of the PDR reps came out and they were having a pretty awesome sale on it. Couldn't miss out on that. So I got a pretty good variety of like 30 different PDRs. I got the Sun Grown, which is definitely one of my favorites. Pretty, like medium to full body. It's dark like this, so it's got a pretty good flavor to it. And like this cigar, it has a pretty strong flavor, a very little slight taste of spice to it. The only thing I don't like about the Oscura PDR is that it has a bit of a harder pull. Generally, I go with Gurkha Havana Legend because you'll get about a pretty heavy cigar. So I like this. I don't like the hard pull.
What do you mean by hard pull?
Like, watch. Normally I'd get like 2 or 3 times as much smoke out of a Havana Legend. So this I usually have to puff a good 2 or 3 times when normally I would have only puffed once or twice. So you gotta kind of work for it on this one. I like the flavor though.
So how much do those normally run?
I think these ones run about $8 if I had to guess. I bought a box of the PDR Sun Growns as well as a box of the Oscuras. I think the box ended up running me about $140, $145. So I'd say that's about $8 a cigar for 20.
I have the Gurkha Heritage. I have the Gurkha Heritage. It's very good. Very excellent cigar. I got this on a special when the Gurkha rep was here a few nights ago, and I bought 3. I bought 2 and I got 1 free. And now they're smoking the other Gurkha that I got.
What is your, give a review?
This one I've had before. It smokes really good. It's what I say. It breathes well. It means it smokes evenly. It doesn't canoe on me. The only reason I had to relight is because I had to go get Cody some Whataburger, and so it went out when I was gone. My only complaint is the label sticks, and it's going to take a little while to peel it off. It's about time to get it off because my fire is getting down to the field. But it's got a very... It's a heavy cigar, but it's not too heavy for me. It's really good. Really, it's good Gurkha. Because, you know, Gurkha is a cigar company, should be more famous than it is. Because Gurkha is the cigar that Monica Lewinsky used with Bill Clinton in the Oval Office. Although we're not sure exactly which Gurkha was used. But I know it wasn't this Gurkha. Do you have any idea what Gurkha that was?
I knew at one point, but I forgot.
I'm surprised they didn't. I'm surprised that they didn't promote the hell out of that.
I'm not sure that would have been a good promotion.
Oh, it would have been a fantastic promotion. The only problem with Monica Lewinsky is that she wasn't Marilyn Monroe. If Bill had been sleeping with Marilyn Monroe, the whole country would have been on his side.
Not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
Oh, that's the what do you call that?
Well, I'm smoking the Tatiscan. That's the one with the cowboy hat on the label. It burns well, it holds its ash well, it's got good aeration, and it's got pretty good construction. All in all, it's a fairly good cigar.
Describe it as being mild and relaxing.
Medium.
Thank you for that review.
My pleasure.
What'd you smoke tonight?
A little pot, a little, no, kidding. Listen, for somebody that's at TCU, you're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. See?
Don't edit that out. Now your son, now wait, your daughter.
That's his wife.
Your
that's
daughter's
his wife.
cute.
What cigar did you smoke tonight?
A very good cigar from Paladin's.
It was massive. It was better than any cigar you'll ever taste.
That's what my wife says. After
Everybody knows.
35 years, my wife says it was huge, it was massive, it was awesome.
Like Donald Trump.
And we will make America great again. God bless you and good night. I love you.
Trump rocks. Paladin cigars rock even more.